Thank you, and welcome to the Standing Committee on School and Student Performance. First, we're going to start off. We're going to take a roll call.
Member Novick?
Here.
Member Clancy? Chair Johnson?
Here. Okay, so today we have one item on, and it's GB 1-92. Request that the administration establish an advisory committee to include personal community representatives and experts in the field of study of health to discuss a later starting time for secondary students and move the time forward by 30 minutes for everyone. We are joined today from Dr. Marco Andre from administration, who gave a backup. We had the last time I think we held this and asked for a survey on kind of what our students have after school in regards to responsibility after already taking a look at the athletic schedules and how that would impact moving stuff back. So I'm
Did you just turn it over? Sorry, I didn't. The sound just got a little bit funny.
it's on you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Chair. I'm like, okay. So what I'm going to share is in response to the request that the administration conduct a student survey. There were 2 questions, and this was part of that that item. And if I can share my screen. All right, hopefully you can see this.
Yep.
Okay. So the last time we had met, we did discuss that there was going to be a survey that'll be administered or would be administered in March. It was our culture and climate survey. And for students in grades 9 to 12, we did ask the questions that had been called out and asked by the school committee to be asked for high school students. How many secondary students are responsible for younger siblings after school, and how many students work after school, including what their shift times would be. So we added these 2 items to the culture and climate survey, and approximately 63% of all high school students did respond to the survey. That first question about, which of these following apply to you? We asked if they had a job after school, and students could have answered yes to multiple items here, but 28% of them, or basically 1 out of 4 students, did report that they had a job after school. That's about 1,300 kids, students, and then 1,078, or another roughly 1 in 4, provided childcare for younger siblings, brothers and sisters after school. You can see that there are other items that students reported doing after school. These are not part of the the item for this for the school committee, but these were asked of them as well, just to try to get a sense of other activities that the students might be taking on after school, particularly as it might have implications for considerations under this item about start time. So, so about 1 in 4 students, and again, they respond to each of these individually, so they're not necessarily mutually exclusive. There is a possibility students might have answered yes to both of these, but you can see that that for this particular question, again, about 1 in 4, and that follow on. So for students who did work after school, we were asking them what the start time would be for their shift. And you can see the breakdown. The largest group of students were starting between 3 and 4 o'clock. But for the most part, student responses that between 1 and 5, they're they're already starting a shift after school. So that's the bulk of students. There's a fewer number that start them after 5 o'clock at night. So the shifts are generally following on from school. I think that was part of the consideration too in asking this question. So these are the items that have been asked to be asked of the students. These are the responses that we had gotten back from them. I wanted to be able to share this as part of this item, and that was what I had. So I don't know if there were any questions that I can try to answer.
Thank you for that, and I will ask my colleague, Member O'Connell-Novick, any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First, I just want to say thank you for following up on this. I think that this was designed to give us a better idea of the possible impacts of any kind of shift. I do just want to note, I appreciate also you, Mr. Chair, continuing to follow up on this item, since it's an item from March of 2021 at this point. So we're well out from the initial conversation, which I think at this point, more than half the school committee was not there for the first couple of rounds of this discussion. I do want to just note on this particular one that's on the screen now, the distinction was really about things that we as a district have control over versus things that we as a district don't, right? So if the district decides to make changes around the academic day, that necessarily also means that we would make changes and could make changes for things that are exterior to the academic day, but that are Worcester Public Schools. And districts that have made changes obviously, need to then be considering things like what the implications are for childcare if the younger elementary schools and so forth go. I think, Mr. Chair, the thing that I think I want to reflect on at this point is that, to me, this is of a piece with a lot of the other conversations we've been having around how do we run school or construct schools in ways that are intended to actually give the best experience to students and to staff. And, to me, the research is so clear in terms of, what we know about secondary schools and what time they should be starting. We also are in a number of other changes. We're having the conversations around the strategic plan. We've just gotten through our first year, or are close to getting through for our first year of district operated transportation. So I think that this becomes part of those larger conversations in terms of how do you make sure that you run school in a way that works best for the students, given what we know about their biological makeup, and their mental health, their safety, their academic achievement. So I think that's all I have to say about
that. Sorry about that.
An answering service.
Yes, I know. So with that, and I would agree, Member Novick, in regards to that. So with that, if you don't mind, I would actually like to make a motion to actually file this for now. And I think that is, again, a bigger discussion that we should have as we move forward. And if need be, we could bring this back, refile. Someone could refile, and we could bring this back. So my motion would be to file this. Roll call.
Member O'Connell-Novick,
Yes.
Chair Johnson.
Yes. And thank you, Dr. Andre, thank you. Member Novick, thank you. And that's all we have for today. So we were to adjourn the meeting. Roll call.
Member O'Connell-Novick,
Yes.
Chair Johnson.
Yes. Thank you all. Have a good afternoon. Evening.
Thanks.
Thank you.